sure everyone's really excited to hear what you will have to say today. Um, Maybe we can start with the questions.
Sure thing. Yeah, yeah, take it away.
Okay, yeah. So we've prepared some questions for you today, and the first question is, can you please give a bit of a background on who you are and what Pegaxy does?
For sure. Oh, I think we've got a bit of echo on.
Oh,
Yeah, you might need to mute. Yeah, sweet as. So, yeah, of course, for the ones who don't know, myself, I'm just one of the co-founders over at Pegaxy, and there's a total of three of us. And yeah, Pegaxy itself is obviously a horse racing game built on the Polygon chain, and yeah, essentially what happens is that it's a PvP currently auto racer where players collect Pega, find the best ones, breed the best ones, fuse the best ones, and work towards obviously winning as many rewards as possible. Lots of developments happening at the moment. Game's essentially in beta, I would say, is the easiest way to put it. We've got a closed beta of mobile as well. But yeah, overall, I guess from our team's perspective, we're sitting at about close to about 100 staff. And overall, I guess that would summarize it.
Great. Thank you, Corey. Thank you. Yeah, so um that was a great introduction from your side. I think wait, hold on. I think Kyrie's supposed to like host the event, but I think he has some problems with his internet connection, so I'll take over if you guys
No
don't
worries.
mind. um
No worries.
so the second question is, Pegaxy has become one of the leaders in the play to earn space over the past 6 months. How did this come to be?
Yeah, I guess there's there's probably a few reasons. I think. So initially, I would say we came into the industry more so not trying to be big. We wanted to just take it easy, slowly get our way through the space, and yeah, just slowly build our foundations. But I think early on, a lot of people were able to recognize, I guess, our vision, and the type of things that we did want to build. So with the scholarship models, the rentals, and they had seen our MVP and seen, I feel, what we were capable of, and yeah, I think one thing led to another. The word got out, and organically, we kind of just got to the space where we were now. A lot of people really did like the direction we were going. As I said, I think they liked that we were committed to customer support, and obviously, I guess showed the back end, and we're very approachable as well. So, I wouldn't say it's all the product. That's for sure, because the product is, I would say, from my personal perspective, maybe 10% through, but it's a accumulation of things. Obviously some of the team, the way that we did communicate, and also partly the products for sure.
Interesting. So, um, within that time period, we have seen many opportunities for you to list on various exchanges. But why was it that you decided to wait and list later on?
Yeah, good question. So interesting one. I think we get this a lot. And the easiest way to answer this, I think, but a fair few people probably would have heard this previously, but I guess it just comes down to like our core belief of the token actually having value behind it, meaning that there's a product there, there's tangible value. It's not just based off speculation or the exchange that they're listed on. So, initially when we had um, all this crazy momentum and no one was ready for it and it just went a little bit crazy. Of course, you can approach these exchanges and go wild on listings and stuff like that. But the reality is that if you don't have a product to back it up, eventually people are going to start wondering why. And the same thing is always going to happen. So whether you're on a big exchange or a small exchange, I personally believe that there needs to be a tangible product base behind it. So through basically this entire period of time, our direction, I guess the direction that we've wanted to take, and our thesis has always just been build the product and build the foundations, and independent of what people are saying that we should be listing. There should be all this type of stuff. It was more so just we feel the right direction is to build the product. So instead of switching focus, instead of putting resources in other areas, it was all full steam ahead like it was day one and like it is now, straight into building the products that we believe will create value in the future. So hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Thank you. So looking at the current game and your vision of where it could be, are you satisfied with the progress and where do you want to see the game in 6 months?
Mm, yeah. I think we should be on a surface level definitely grateful for where it is. It's been roughly about 6 months from the top of my head, so I guess in 6 months' time it'll be about a year. So from where we've started to where we are now, obviously there is a drastic difference, and I think it's very difficult for some people to recognize it because they will look at the charts or they'll look at other factors. But at a fundamental level, if you look at the development and the direction that we're going, what's been shipped, and the foundation even of just Mirai Labs, like our team, the studio, and how big we've grown, and the talent that we're bringing in consistently, and the reach that we've been able to have. I think in just 6 months, considering like that's still a baby, I think we've done considerably well, like quite well. In looking forward 6 months, with how much has happened in the first 6 months, I think it's difficult to predict like what's next. Obviously we've got the plans on what we want to do, but what actually happens, might be a different story, because it depends obviously on the general market sentiment as well. But on the product side, that's something that we can control. And for us, again, I think it's just going to come down to shipping the products that we had always planned, and pushing hard to bring in some of the best talent in the industry, and I guess position ourselves to be a leader. But again, in the grand scheme, what is 6 months? I guess for us, 6 months went very very quickly, and I'm sure the next 6 months are going to go very very quickly. We need to make sure that obviously there's some short term stuff there, but we are setting solid foundations for the 12-24 months time periods for sure. Hopefully that covers it.
Yeah, I do understand that in the GameFi industry, the progress is really fast and the market is really dynamic. There's like a lot of new projects coming up every month, and so what do you have in mind, like to stay ahead from your competitors? Do you have any upcoming news or developments that you wanted to share to everyone listening?
I guess yeah, you're definitely right when it comes to the space. I think it's more so like the crypto space in general. People move super quickly, and news moves super quickly. So it doesn't matter how big the announcement, good or bad. People seem to just forget about it after 2 weeks or a month or something like that. So it's a difficult industry to satisfy. Potentially, that's even just life. But I guess when we look at the market in a general sense and how we plan to compete, I think it's stay true to what has worked for us initially anyway. Again, when a lot of things, even the listing here, a lot of things will revolve around token price, and we always want to make sure that people have accessibility to stuff like that. But again, we want things to be predicated on a good, solid foundation. But competitiveness in the general sense, I think, is more so going to be who still exists in the 24, 48-month type situation, to where they've set amazing foundations through the development. The people who have been there the entire time have been able to witness the growth. And then when it does come time to, play ball, user acquisition, distribution, retention, those type of things. When it's the real game, not in the beta or the MVP or development is still actively happening, just to build the foundational game. After all of that, yeah, I think that's going to be the real game, and I think that's where we're going to be able to compete, because we're focused solely on that solid foundation. So when it comes to development, I think that's what you mentioned. It was like future developments. Of course, there's many things. I'm sure many people here have already heard about it. We've got Aries that's releasing. Aries for us is kind of the first integration that we have seen of putting guilds on chain, giving them the tools that they need to track everything, manage everything, and that'll slowly develop over time. Themis being a governance platform, that's nothing new to the crypto industry, to the gaming space, to the GameFi space. I think it's fairly new. Not many do have it, but again, that'll release in beta. There's many things to learn on that side. And when it comes to the game, I think our vision of how the game flows, so being mobile native, being able to bring people from the Web 2 space into a Web 3 game without really realizing that they're interacting directly with blockchain or cryptos in general, is where I think we are going to have our competitive edge, and is the direction that we're developing in. So yeah, I think that covers it in general.
Interesting. I'm sure that a lot of our community members are interested and are looking forward for your Aries launch the upcoming months. Um, and so I've actually heard of this game Pegaxy for quite some time. Like it was trending like a while ago, like earlier this year. I have a lot of friends who are into Pegaxy. And so the question is this just the beginning for Pegaxy, or what big plans do you have in the works to bring it to the mainstream eventually?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's an interesting position. We got thrown into a very interesting position, and I would consider us very, very lucky, and absolutely we are grateful to be have been put in that position to where people were actually interested in us over all of the other games that were potentially out there. And yeah, obviously this is the beginning. Pegaxy as a product, um, like Mirror Labs has only just started building Pegaxy. What, 6 months for a game that is, you know, far bigger than most people could imagine, trying to integrate obviously financial services inside of it. Like, it's going to take so many years to even get to the first iteration of a finished product. So yeah, it's a definitely a tough situation when so many people are interested in the vision very early on, but that's just part and parcel with it. There's obviously going to be people who stick around for the long time. There's going to be people who just simply don't have the patience to be able to stick around. But again, that's just, I guess, part of the attracting the crowd, being in crypto, being early. There's not much that we can do about that, and again, we don't take any of that to heart. That's, we understand that just comes with the nature of the game. As soon as, like you mentioned early on, people just started flocking to it. And we weren't doing anything, we're just focused on development, we're focused on good customer support, and being transparent with the community. All of a sudden, there's $100 million going through your marketplace. It makes you wonder, like, what is happening at this point in time. But then once you really look at it and recognize what is happening, usually most of the time it's just people diving in, and following one another, which is totally understandable. So again, for us, it's absolutely the beginning, and we're grateful because there's so many good supporters and so many people that we've been able to, I guess, meet and interact with, and so many partnerships that are possible because of that initial interest. And again, whatever the negative side of that is, it just comes part and parcel of being someone who's I guess in the conversation. And you know a small company like Mirror Labs, like, very, very small, even Pegaxy, small game, being directly compared to Axie is such an enormous feat when you've only been around 6 months. Even at that time, early on, we were being compared, which is, you know, it's a big shoe to fill, but it is something that, for us, felt like a really good sign, that we were going in the right direction. So, of course, I guess it's definitely the beginning, And the big plans to go mainstream, I think, have tried to make that pretty clear for most people that it's obviously getting a finished, polished product where people don't realize that it's kind of blending Web3 into Web2, which is obviously everybody's goal. But I think our vision of executing it may be superior. I guess we'll find out. That's just part of the industry. But yeah, and that's how we plan to go mainstream. But until then, it's just about, I guess, cliche. It's just about building.
Awesome. We really believe that Pegaxy is a strong competitor to Axie Infinity. So we are really looking forward for your next progress. And just before we head over to the last question, I actually have a personal question for you, if that's okay.
Of course, of course.
Yeah, so I've seen like the Pegaxy gameplay, and I know that the designs of the horses, the you guys call it Pegasus? Yeah, the horses, it's 3D, right? But then when you get into the racing part, it's actually 2D, and I figured it'll be like interesting if you can if you guys can make it into 3D. And I'm wondering if you guys have any plans about that in the future.
Yeah, so 3D was actually just switched off. So 3D is kind of in very early beta. Um, so 2D is still the most popular platform, and I think it's because the game itself is not overly interactive. Like the 2D game is still our MVP. People who join the game early it's still what they're used to, and it reminds them of the arcade vibes, all that type of stuff. So some people are even emotionally attached to the 2D side and are just not interested in the 3D. But for us, again, the direction that we've always wanted to go is 3D. So the mobile app is 3D and the closed beta, which is coming out. And I think actually just tonight we re-enabled 3D on desktop. So the people who love the 3D are able to go back to the 3D. But yes, again, like the 2D is very, very easy to ship out. And that's what we did when we first initially launched. We just launched with the 2D. And then we built the 3D, and the 3D has been in open beta. It was in open beta a little while on desktop. Then we brought that one down to fix bugs, and then that one's just come back up tonight. And then on mobile as well. Mobile will be only 3D, but again, the goal here is to make it accessible, as widely accessible as possible. So the game needs to be very, very light. It doesn't need to use much data, or you don't need to have a really good phone. So it's going to take time to optimize to that level. But yeah, 3D is like, I guess, 50-50 there, 50-50 not. But that's the direction we're going.
Cool. I'm definitely gonna download your app on my phone like right away when
I
it
appreciate
launched.
it.
So I guess like since we are running out of time, um so we have one last question for you. Is there anything you'd like to say to the community listening in preparation for the listing on BitTrue?
Yeah, for sure. I think I'll take this moment just as a general thing. And also, I'll answer the question first. With the listing on BitTrue, everybody already knows how we are. When it comes to price speculation, we want you guys to always be careful. You know how the markets are. Um, don't make any assumptions. Just be very, very careful. But secondly, I want to thank BitTrue for reaching out to us so aggressively. We've spoken to a lot of exchanges, and we felt that you guys obviously had done a lot of background research, and a lot of your team members were actually in the game. And going to a very, very big exchange, as many people would love for us to do, to go into a Binance or something like that. Again, at the time that you guys reached out to us and we started speaking, we just didn't feel that something like that was feasible, probably not even possible, because of our size, but was just not appropriate. And we thought it was perfect to work with you guys. So, secondly, I obviously want to say thank you and making the process so easy and being so accessible to a lot of our community as well. So, then finally, I just want to say thank you to the community members. Of course, there's 440 of you guys here, so I'd assume a lot of you guys are from the community. And again, uh, you know, there's obviously been a lot of changes. A lot of people are not used to it, but we're always be pushing the limits. We're always going to be pushing changes. We're always going to be testing because, unfortunately, there's no playbook to copy. And I know a lot of people don't believe that, but that's unfortunately just the reality. We can do as much research as possible, but we're running live here. We're running live with real data, and it takes time to build stuff. So, again, if you're patient, if you're truly, part of the community and here for the long term, I just want to say thank you so much. Whether you've been here from day one or whether you joined yesterday, doesn't matter to me if you're part of the community. Just want to say thank you so much for the support. Again, be careful. This is not something that's going to be the be all end all. This is just BITRUE enabling accessibility. Obviously, there's going to be order books. This allows different types of trading for a lot of people. So yeah, enjoy it. Again, thank you to BITRUE and thank you guys for hosting me. It's been awesome, and thank you for the decent questions. It was great. And if you guys did have any extra questions, I'm sure there's going to be a couple on here. But feel free to jump in our Discord or our website live chat. We've got all that type of stuff. So reach out anytime. But thank you so much, Whitney. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Corey, for the nice words about BitTrue. We're also really excited to have Pegaxy on board on our exchange. And for those of you who are interested to ask questions to the Pegaxy team, you can do so via Pegaxy's official Discord, and we will share the link via the Telegram via our BitTrue community Telegram group soon. Um, so I guess that's all for today. And once again, big thanks to Corey for sharing with us today. And have a good day or good night, everyone, wherever you are.
Thank you, team. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Well, that was the AMA, which is 4:29 a.m. for me. A lot of you guys who did not participate could not listen. I'm going to put it on my YouTube channel so that you guys can listen to this later on. So, good night and goodbye.